Hi guys, Snowflake Devil here. I've been wanting to share a bit of what happened to me in 2020, but it also kind of goes into like near the end of 2019. Um, so, trigger warning before I say anything. This story contains mentioning of sexual assault and domestic abuse. Okay, so I met my ex fiance when I was with my ex Connor at the time, uh, in near the end of 2019 and all that. So I'm not trying to be in a relationship with my ex fiance at the time because I was wanting to be friends and blah blah blah. But then my ex Connor had the bright idea of wanting to be in an open relationship or polyamory relationship or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So after a while and everything, I was okay with it. I ended up being with my ex fiance because I met him through a friend of mine at the time, and we were getting to know each other. So sometime like a month or two after, he and I started kind of being a thing slightly, and all that. So that was fun for me. But I my ex Connor broke up with me after a while, and it's fine. And I was with uh ex douchebag, ex fiance. So I'm basically um I'm basically dating him. I'm happy and everything. I'm okay. I'm a little hurt still, but I'm alright. Um and the relationship was going very well, very very well for for from the end, like near December, like I don't know exactly when in December, but December 2019 we were really talking and everything. Um and um the relationship's going fine. I'm consenting to some intimacy because we got to that point after a while. Um he does a lame thing for Valentine's Day where we go to Five Guys. Even though I looked really nice and everything because it was like a date at the time, that I thought it was actually like us going out somewhere and everything. But no, he took me to Five Guys. We got our stuff, went back to my friend's apartment because that's where he was staying at the time. And he uh we had food and everything, and that was fine. But after a bit of time, he we got a little intimate again and everything. And after several months of this, I started to kind of want it less and less for the intimacy because that in my brain that's all he wanted. So after a couple months to about August, I guess, of 2019, 2020, not 2019, 2020. Um, I started losing feelings for him and everything, but I don't know that for sure yet and everything. So I'm like still all giddy and in love with him and all that. Yeah, fun. But sorry, this is a little hard, even though I've told people multiple times about this and everything, and it's still very hard for me. But I started noticing that when he wanted it and I said no and we were laying down, he would turn over away from me and pout. His way of manipulating me to say yes. Now, if you guys think that's like consent, like I actually willingly gave it, no. For what happened to me was not consent, that I did not consent to willingly. I was forced to, because he would pout the entire time and everything, and especially if he and I didn't really do anything, he would be like beating the meat like the next morning while he's waking up to get ready for work and everything, and he'd be like right next to me. Gross. uh um he he started essaying me multiple times, but he thought it was all consent, like I actually wanted it and everything, but I really didn't. And all I gotta say is there was stuff that he wanted to do, and I wasn't comfortable with it. And one of the things he wanted to do was go to the back door, if y'all know what I mean. He would try to do that, like make me be okay with that and everything, by putting his manhood in everything, forcing it and everything, saying relax, relax. No, I can't relax if your thing is in me for the first time. But no, fast forward to around Thanksgiving. um he and I are talking in my room because he moved in after a little bit. We're talking in my room, and it's because he was living in my room with me. Uh, Excuse me, my bad. Um, Excuse me. Um, Basically, what ended up happening was our relationship took more of a turn, because there would be times where he and I would fight, but around Thanksgiving it got really bad, because we're talking throughout the entire day in our room, my room, um, and he is telling me all this stuff about like what my family is quote unquote said about us and all that, and they've said nothing about me. They said a lot about him, how he is not a good guy for me and everything, but I didn't listen. I didn't even listen to my friends at the time. I wish I did. Um, but no, um, he was telling me stuff about like how my mom thought I was like, I have schizoaffective, but my mom said, like, supposedly my mom said that I was schizoaffective with psychotic tendencies, which is not true. I do not have psychotic tendencies. Um, no, it was, I think, suicidal tendencies. Psychotic or suicidal, I don't know. But he got me to yell at my mom and everything, and my family who were upstairs eating Thanksgiving dinner and everything, because I had brought some for me downstairs. Well, no, I actually didn't eat at the time. I was dealing with being all pissy about what supposedly my family said when it wasn't true, and I should have paid more attention to that, but I didn't, because I was too infatuated with him at the time, and I didn't know for sure if my feelings were gonna change back to being okay with him or worse, which it ended up getting worse. Because on Thanksgiving, my mom ended up kicking him out of the house and gave him until December 8th to leave. And throughout that time, before December 8th, he was trying to convince me to move out because he thinks that the environment in my house was not good for me and that they're controlling me in some way, which actually was not true. They were not. But after a little bit, and it was like about 2 days before the 8th of December 2020, he and I moved to Lincoln, Nebraska, which I basically knew no one there except for two people, sort of. Well, two people before and everything, and then two people after, so four people in total. The two people I knew after a little bit were my friend, my ex friend. Let's call her Amy, and her boyfriend Jim. Let's go with that. Amy and Jim. Um, Amy and Jim both let us live with them for a while and everything, but after a little bit of time of me being there and everything, um, Amy complained about how her ankle was not doing very well and how it was like swollen and she had to keep going to the doctor and she couldn't work or even get up from the bed, from the chair, whatever. Um, and every time um, Jim would come home from work, because he was the only one working in the entire apartment, because she apparently couldn't quote unquote work because of her stupid ankle. Um, he would go into his room, sit his butt down after getting comfortable, and just play video games the entire time. And throughout this entire time, I have an Xbox One, and he and my ex fiance, let's go with Brad. My ex Brad, he was using my Xbox the entire time for watching stuff and not really gaming on it. So that was weird. And I wasn't allowed to game on it because it was always like him. Like he always had to have the control and everything, even though it was my Xbox. But yeah, um he wasn't doing anything around the house except for cooking for him and I at least. Um and which was fine and everything. I liked his cooking and everything, especially when he made homemade fried chicken. Oh my god, that was delicious. Um, and then and I was the only one doing laundry and everything. I was doing laundry. I was cleaning up our room because I was trying to like finish unpacking at the time, but that was pointless. Um, and there was this one time where I'm basically about out of meds with it, and this was like in January 2021. I don't know exactly how far in, but I get to the point where I'm basically out of all my meds except for one. And I'm almost out of that one too. And I didn't have psychiatry or therapy in Lincoln, Nebraska at the moment yet. And I wasn't able to get my meds at the time, even if I transferred my medication to a Walgreens close by, because Social Security at the time when I was trying to change stuff didn't hear me right when I said September 28th. They thought that they thought I said the 20th, like 20, and I know that was a weird zero, but oh well. So I had to walk all the way to the hospital to see if I can get medication and everything, and they couldn't really give me any, even though I needed it. And the doctor even saw what seemed like domestic abuse between me and my ex-fiance, because I walked over there for a little over 45 minutes because it was uphill by myself to the hospital. And for me, I like having my phone on vibrate. Yes, I miss a lot of stuff and everything. Yes, I get that. I shouldn't do that. But there are times where every now and then I just can't stand the noise of my phone, even though I change it to the way I want it. I just can't. So he calls me 3 times when I'm walking to the hospital. And one of the times he leaves a voicemail thinking I'm cheating on him, apparently, because that's apparently all I would be doing in Nebraska, even though I didn't really know anybody. He left a voicemail saying, "Get your boyfriend's dick out of your ass and call me." And I made it to the hospital, called him back while I was waiting in the room for the doctor and all that. Doctor comes in and he sees me on the phone still and everything, and he can hear it because I have my phone on the max volume because I'm hard of hearing. And basically, what ended up happening was he didn't tell me anything. He did not even try to help me get out of the situation. He just sat there and listened. And after I got off the phone, we finally started talking about my meds and all that. And he writes a prescription. Me and Jim ended up taking it to the Walgreens because I basically dragged him out of there. And we still couldn't get my meds because the stupid birth date was wrong. And then, um, fast forward a little bit to, I think, the night before January 19th of 2021. Um, I'm on the phone with my mother. We're having a nice conversation. I'm telling her about what's going on here and everything and what's been troubling me and blah, blah, blah. After a little bit, she pops the question of, "Hey, do you want to come home?" I'm thinking for a second. Yeah, I do. And then after I got off the phone, um, ex-fiance, Amy, and Jim all come out of their rooms because I'm in the living room, even though the walls are really thin, so they basically heard everything. Oh, on my side. They come out and basically are like, "So I'm guessing you're leaving." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm leaving." So they gave me the entire night to pack up and everything. I packed everything within about almost 2 hours. I didn't know exactly when for sure my mom was coming and everything to come get me because apparently she was thinking of doing that, which was fine. I love that. I'm glad. But I didn't know until later that night that she was coming to get me the next day. So fun. I'm basically on the couch, by the way, at this point. And so the day I'm the morning of the fact of me leaving on January 19th, 2021, I um I am waiting for my mother and everything. I basically waking up and all that, just trying to get ready for me to leave and everything, get out of that situation and all that. But it ends up being a little aggressive because I'm using a pillowcase that apparently ex-fiance bought with a bed set that he got for the bed that I paid for and everything. And um he's trying to get the pillowcase off the pillow, but my just as a precaution and everything for that night, I put my wallet in the pillowcase so no one could grab anything from my wallet, like my chime card, my ID, and everything. I didn't want any of that being taken, or my social security number. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to carry it. I don't have a place for it right now. Um, and basically, what ended up happening is he and I are fighting over the pillowcase because I'm trying to get my wallet out and everything, and I'm like, can I get my wallet and everything? And he's aggressive and everything, so we're having a little bit of tug of war and everything. He wins the tug of war, but I wrecked the pillowcase, so bonus for me. And he ended up grabbing my wallet, throwing that at me. After a little bit, I am still kind of in a way getting ready fully. And he grabs a uh one of those like pocket knives and everything that I bought. It was a dual blade. And so he throws that at me because I got that for him on his birthday and he didn't want anything to remind him of his ex. Me. So ended up having to call the police. My mom did the same thing, which actually was very funny. She and I got the same 911 operator, and the lady who was talking to me and my mom kept switching back and forth between us to get both sides, to get like both information and everything from what she know from my mom knows and from what I have information on. And so basically, we had the cops there because I felt unsafe because like he was getting aggressive and like Amy Jim, what did I say his name was? I don't remember anymore. Amy Jim and him all come out all are in Jim and Amy's room talking and everything, and I can hear what they're saying because yeah, not much privacy. At one point, they said to each other that I owed February's rent, which I didn't. Which I did not. Because why would I? Like, I wasn't really there. Like, technically, in a way, I wasn't really there for a full month. But after a little bit, my mom and I finally got onto the road after getting my stuff in the car, and me wanting to hug her and cry and everything, but she says like, let's hurry up and get this done and everything. And I'm like, okay. So we hurry up, get everything packed, get everything in the car, and then we get driving. We have a really nice little road trip and everything, which was very nice. Everything, we're having a great time. We're talking. We're listening to music and everything. And I'm texting a couple friends and all that. And what ended up being the thing was the fact that after a 7-hour road trip, I got back to my grandmother's house at around 10 at night. And instantly I was like really tired and everything. I was just like, I'm gone. And but what I ended up doing was I ended up hugging my grandmother, and when I hugged her, I fucking cried. I cried because I was finally safe, but it was still a hard road because of all the sexual assault that he did on me. And his manipulation tactics, which was fun because one of his favorite ones was any other guy would hit you. And he would scream that like this close on my face sometimes. But I was fucking happy to be home. I cried. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry here, but it's a little difficult. I cried for a little bit. I was gonna go to where they had me to sleep and everything for temporary and everything, and I didn't have a bed at the time at my grandmother's house, so my brother ended up getting the couch that was in the living room that I liked to sleep on because to me it was comfortable. But we ended up, so I slept on that, but before I went into the room, I saw my cousin and she was cooking and everything. And I ended up, I ended, I ended up hugging her and slightly crying, and she was crying more than I was because she didn't want anything like this to happen to me like it did with her ex. But her ex was an alcoholic. My ex was just a douche. And it honestly sucks because, like, I'm actually happy that I got away from the situation. I'm happy with who I'm with right now and all that. It's nice. I'm happy, but looking back on it, I regret a lot of what happened, a lot of what I did, about the fact that I didn't listen to him. I didn't listen to my friends. I shouldn't have listened to him. I should have listened to my friends. But I also should have been more cautious about things. But after a little bit, I finally got back into therapy. I got into psychiatry again, but wasn't gonna take until about a month later for me to get into to talk to a psychiatrist. So for a month until the appointment, I am not doing very well. Like, I'm seeing things melt in my brain and everything. Like, everything around me looked like it was melting. I was a little dizzy. I did not feel like myself. Like, I felt like my emotions were gonna go haywire and everything, like up and down, up and down, up and down. But no. What ended up happening was after a little bit, I got back on my meds. Um, for a little bit, they weren't very well for me for one of them because I kept seeing double and I kept falling. And when I went to a neurologist, they saw that my eyes were going like this. They were going like this because one of my medications was a little too high. But yeah, I got out of the situation. I met my current fiance and all that, or here, well, on TikTok, and as you can see, the rest is history. I hope you guys understand that I'm just telling you this because I want to, and I want you to understand a little bit more about, in a way, what I went through in some ways. And I hope you guys don't go through this as well because I know it sucks.